fire the living shit out of the Indiana Fever. So Indiana Fever, and it's been my belief that they will freaking fire everyone. And I do believe this. So if you're a Fever fan and you're hoping they'll keep Caitlin Clark, it's my belief that when push comes to shove, there's no way they can let her get away. They will fire everybody and start over. That's my belief. I cannot imagine the level of fumbling the bag that would have to be done.
What happens when Gatorade tries to jump on the Caitlin Clark hype train, but forgets who's actually doing the work? You get a PR mess now with extra electrolytes. The WNBA thought this was going to be a slam dunk, but it ended up more like an airball straight into a dumpster fire. And just wait until you hear what fans really think. Fever management might want to brace themselves for this poll. Oh, and Caitlin. She just picked up $660,000 like it's no big deal. Grab some popcorn. This is about to get good.
Caitlin Clark meant to the WNBA?
Everything. She's changed the dynamic and history forever for women.
I see a lot of young girls here today, and I see how inspired they are, and she's even gotten me back into basketball.
I think she has brought attention. She did it for us. We had never watched, and we have become big fans.
I don't think her contributions have been extreme as what people think they are. I think the league in itself has been getting better, and that's really what we should be focusing on.
I think she's brought a lot of attention to the WNBA, and it's needed.
I think it's great. I actually grew up watching the WNBA, so it's really exciting to see a resurgence.
She meant everything. I never watched it before.
If she leaves the Fever, I'm out too. That's not just a quiet opinion anymore, it's a full-on rallying cry. Caitlin Clark isn't just playing in the WNBA for a whole new generation of fans. She is the WNBA. Most of them didn't even know what the Fever was 6 months ago. At this rate, Indiana might want to call a custody lawyer, because if Caitlin leaves, she's probably taking half the fan base with her.
And there's enough votes here. This is a good test to see how bad this would be. Swag put this out, and it's starting to make the rounds. I voted. Okay, Fever fans, answer this. If Caitlin leaves Fever, would you still support the Fever? We got 1,145 votes here. Nope, my bags are packed is far and away leading.
These aren't just casual fans. They're diehards, fully devoted to the Church of Caitlin. They're all in. They don't care about team colors or where she plays. Caitlin is the brand. Her jersey isn't just a uniform. It's a GPS. Wherever she goes, they follow. Their loyalty isn't to Indiana, it's to her. No shade too. The rest of the roster, fans respect them. But Caitlin's the reason they showed up.
For letting her cook. Me dinner.
I'm buying Powerade stock.
Is it a play on like women shouldn't? No, they didn't do it on purpose. There's no way. How you came up with this and not in the back of your minds like, oh, they're just going to be like, oh, it's women. She just needs to cook. Didn't think about that in the PR room. I'm a big advocate.
When it really comes down to choosing between the team and the superstar who made you care in the first place, there's no question. It's Caitlin. Clark or nothing and Fever fans are starting to panic. Not because Caitlin's playing badly. She's doing exactly what she was brought in to do, bringing attention, boosting ratings, filling seats, and making this struggling team look like a real contender again. The problem? Feels like the only one who hasn't figured that out is her coach.
Boy, listen, NBA players make 50% of revenues. WNBA players make 9%. And now the merch sales are up 500% and attendance is up 40%. So they're going to get a raise. There's no question. And I don't really care that the previous 25 years, they didn't make a lot of money or lost money. I don't care. They're in the middle of a negotiation and they're on a heater. So it doesn't really matter. I've said this before. I made an investment for 5 years and it lost money. And I got about 6 months left in the investment. And in the last 6 months, they started making cash. I'm not bailing on the investment. I want to finally get my money back. So they're going to get a raise. They're finally turning a corner. But and negotiating in any business is all about current momentum It's not about 12 years ago. It's about current momentum.
Somehow, the game plan feels less like let's build around our star and more like maybe next quarter. And that's wild because, spoiler, they're not winning. They're losing, and badly. But after every game, the same tired routine plays out. One player goes to 4-14 and the coach says, "Keep shooting, honey." They'll fall eventually. Caitlin takes one tough shot late in the game and suddenly it's lecture time. That's not just confusing, it's starting to feel like a weird performance. Fans see it. They're not dumb, and they're not going to keep watching while the team slowly sabotages the one player who brought them here in the first place. The message is loud and clear, repeated more times than a WNBA highlight on ESPN3. If Caitlin leaves, we leave.
Caitlin Clark is a media driver. She is a ratings driver. I think about the NBA post Magic and Larry, the NBA post Michael Jordan, tennis post Serena Williams, golf post Tiger Woods, right? There are certain athletes that drive the sport more than others. And that's not to take away from anyone else drafted tonight. That's not to take away from the other incredible superstars in the WNBA, right?
This isn't just fandom anymore. It's a full-on movement. Caitlin Clark is like a monarch butterfly and her fans. They're following her wherever she goes. They're not loyal to the Fever, they're loyal to her. They're not packing team merch. They're packing portable loyalty. Doesn't matter if she ends up in New York, Vegas, or the Bermuda Triangle. If Caitlin's there, so are they. The team could change names, cities, or even rebrand as the toilet paper tornadoes. Fans would still show up. This isn't a phase. It's a full-blown phenomenon, and Fever management should be worried. These fans aren't being dramatic. They're just honest. Caitlin is the reason they even started watching the WNBA. It wasn't marketing, flashy promos, or Instagram clips. It was one kid from Iowa with Steph Curl shooting, elite court vision, and the charm of a late-night host. She made women's basketball must-watch TV. Now imagine benching that. It's like finding a gold mine and deciding to build a strip mall on top of it. Makes no sense. And yeah, fans respect the rest of the team. Nobody's trying to ignore them. But let's be real. Caitlin's the reason they showed up.
The T-shirts don't bother me. But why do you take a shot at the Golden Goose, Caitlin Clark? You guys were flying before she arrived on one of those airlines that made you pay for a cup of water. One of those airlines that is the planes are the color of a highlighter. Now you're flying private. Okay, if you're in a band and you're staying at the Motel 6 and you add a band member and now you're at the Ritz-Carlton, keep your issues to yourself.
It's starting to feel intentional, like there's some behind-the-scenes plan to keep Caitlin Clark humble. Don't let her shine too bright. Make sure the veterans get their shots, even if they're missing, like it's the lottery, not basketball. Meanwhile, fans are shouting, "Just let her cook." But every time Caitlin starts getting hot, someone pulls her off the court or kills the momentum. Add in the awkward body language, tense press conferences, and weird late game decisions, and now her fans aren't just loyal, they're angry. They feel duped. You can't hype her up, slap her face on every ad from Gatorade to garden hoses, and then treat her like a decoy during actual games. That's not strategy. That's slow-motion sabotage. So what happens if she leaves? Simple. The WNBA faces the biggest fan drop-off since people discovered streaming services. 1 minute you've got sold-out arenas and record-breaking ratings, and the next, silence while reruns of American Ninja Warrior start pulling more views.
3. I'm going to pass on that question, actually. WNBA star Caitlin Clark is transforming women's sports. She fills arenas night after night, and her games have smashed TV viewership records. And if you watch Clark play, Well, it's not hard to figure out why. She makes deep three-pointers look easy. And like all stars, wants the ball when the game is on.
And don't think fans are just talking. They're serious. They're already looking at other cities. Some have spreadsheets and group chats. A few are checking rental apps in Phoenix. Others are memorizing Las Vegas zip codes. There are even Caitlin Clark watch parties being planned in places she doesn't play yet, just in case she gets traded. Because these fans aren't loyal to a logo, they're loyal to her. They didn't fall in love with Indiana basketball. Most of them didn't even know what the Fever was 6 months ago. This isn't just fandom anymore. It's starting to feel like a hostage situation. Fever. Management had one job. Don't mess this up. And yet, here we are, watching them slowly wreck the one thing that's actually working. Caitlin Clark. Fans didn't show up just to see her treated like a side character. They're not going to sit quietly while she's turned into a glorified cash machine. So when people say they'll leave if she does, believe them, because to them, Caitlin Clark isn't just a player, she is the product. The whole WNBA ecosystem is orbiting around her right now. Take her out of Indiana, and that team goes back to being just another name in the box score. Put her anywhere else, and that city instantly becomes the heart of WNBA. Fando.
And I think it's like something where if you are a star in the WNBA, like Caitlin Clark, she's probably one of the few people that anybody you can mention to somebody that knows sports will know Caitlin Clark. Yeah. She's getting a ton of deals. Coke, Gatorade, you name Nike deals. Now, I know a lot of the other players, like if you're the 12th person on the team, you're probably not making that much money, but I just feel like coming out like this, what are they going to bargain with? What is their like thing they're coming with that's going to change their salary? And that's what I was trying to figure out. I couldn't understand because they're already rev sharing. The NBA already gives them money, compensates for the loss they make every year because they lose 50.
Aren't being emotional. They're being realistic. They don't owe the Fever anything. They showed up because of Caitlin Clark. They stayed because of Caitlin Clark. And they'll walk away if she does. 2. Especially if things don't change. Maybe it's time to stop treating her like a side character in someone else's story. Because if Caitlin leaves, that's not just a trade, that's an extinctional level event for this fan base. And this time, it wouldn't be a fever dream, it'd be a full-on nightmare at this point. It seems like Stephanie White's coaching philosophy is less about growing your superstar and more about micromanaging her into invisibility. It's not even subtle anymore. It's a slow, linking Morse code running through every press conference. Caitlin Clark wasn't originally my favorite. Sure, she smiled for the cameras and talked about adapting to the system. But now, as the season goes on, it really looks like she's being pushed into the kind of quiet. Don't rock the boat player the old guard is comfortable with. Fans see it. They're not impressed and they're not going to wait around. For someone who's being engineered out of relevance,
Mel Bird, she had Van Slugenhagen on her. She was like, I'm offended that y'all have white defensive players guarding me, and she put her in the torture chamber. You should have known from her little face that she didn't want this matchup from the beginning. Caitlin reminds me of what Dame does. If anybody ever noticed, her first shot, always a three. First quarter, second quarter, third. She sets the distance on her first shot, so you have to guard her there. Now she can do whatever she wants to do. She's playing a chess game. That's what Dame does. He starts his game off. He's going to shoot a deep-ass 3 to 4.
Here's the thing. Caitlin Clark wasn't built to ride shotgun. She's not some side piece to an outdated system held together by guesswork and good vibes. She's the engine, the GPS, the playlist, the reason the whole thing's moving at all. But every game, it feels like Coach Stephanie White is slowing her down, tossing out emotional speed bumps and strategy U-turns like she's directing traffic, not running an offense. And this isn't about small disagreements on playstyle anymore. It feels personal. Like Clark was dropped into White's world by corporate. And now the coach is forcing herself to smile through a dinner party. She didn't plan, except this guest is cooking 5-star meals, paying the bills, and still being told to sit down and pass the salt. Let's just call it what it is. Resistance. From the start. It's felt like Stephanie White has been tolerating, not embracing, the Caitlin Clark era. All that early talk about adapting to her game? Empty words. Instead, we've seen game plans where Clark is shoved in the corner while other players, somehow with a green light, launch bricks like they're building a WNBA-themed Olive Garden. Endless breadsticks, no buckets. And when Caitlin still finds a way to drop 15 assists, 23 points, and viral highlights while dodging elbows and chaos. Nothing, no celebration, no props. It's just another stiff post-game quote about spacing and letting the game come. The message is clear, and fans are done pretending they don't hear it.
WNBA before Caitlin Clark and the WNBA after Caitlin Clark. Describe these two worlds.
Oh, entirely different. 180, The WNBA before started in 1997, the year after the Atlanta Olympics, and was launched into a time when women's sports was still not taken seriously by a lot of, people. Some of those same guys now, if we want to talk about before and after, some of those same guys or guys like them are the ones buying the 22 jerseys, wearing them to games, Major, but also to the grocery store and to the gas station. It is now cool to be a WNBA fan, and it is cool to love Caitlin Clark and the spotlight that is finally shining on these players.